Hello everyone, and a really warm welcome to our live Q&A. So today we are going to be chatting about a wide range of support on offer for those who are coming to study here at the University of Glasgow. So firstly, just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Alice and I am here from External Relations. And I'm really delighted to be joined today by Monica, Dafydd, Mara and Angelica. So I'm going to let each of the panel to introduce themselves first. So Monica, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you, Alice. So I'm Monica. I'm an international student advisor in the International Student Support Team, and I've been in my role about a year.
Perfect, thank you, Monica. Dafydd, I'm going to come to you next.
Hi everyone, my name is Dafydd and I'm the Disability and Inclusion Lead at the university. I've been working here about 3 years and I support the team at the university that supports disabled students in their studies.
Perfect, thank you, Dafydd. Mara, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Yes, lovely to be here. I'm Mara Dougal. I'm one of many student support officers that we have at the university, and specifically I'm the team lead in the College of Science and Engineering.
Thanks, Mara. And Angelica, last but not least.
Hi, I'm Angelica Wilson. I'm the Vice President Student Activities for the Student Representative Council. I've been doing this job for about a year and my term is coming to an end now, so someone else will be replacing me, but they'll just be as good.
Thank you so much, Angelica. So I know that today we will have people tuning in from all across the world. So it would be really fantastic if you could let us know in the live chat where you're tuning in from today. So myself and the panel will be with you for the next 30 minutes or so. And for those of you who are watching live, you can also submit questions through our live chat and we will do our very best to get those questions answered for you as well. Okay, so with that, let's get started and let's get started with some questions. So firstly, we get a lot of questions from those who are nervous about starting at the university and settling into new surroundings. If I can come to each of the panel in turn, how do your respective teams help new students to settle in when they arrive? Angelica, I'm going to come to you first for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So when new students arrive to campus, we have lots of different things going on to make sure that we help them settle in as smoothly as possible. We host lots and lots of different welcome events during a week that we call Welcome Week, which runs simultaneously to Freshers Week. Our main aim for this week of events is to make sure that students on campus feel as welcome as possible. During this week, we have welcome helpers who you'll see out and about on campus in blue t-shirts. If you ever have any questions or if you even just want to have a friendly conversation, these student helpers are there to help you. Also, upon your arrival to your halls of accommodation, you may see these welcome helpers dotted about your halls. They are there to help you move into your new flat and your new flat/room with your boxes, and if you need any help settling in, they're there to help you or even just to answer any questions that you might have.
Perfect. Thanks, Angelica. That's really fantastic support. Mara, I'm going to come to you next.
Yeah, so student support officers are a really good first point of contact to help students navigate the whole range of support and resources that the university has to offer. It's great that there's so many specialist services and induction activities here, but we appreciate that it can feel a bit overwhelming when there's so much new information to take in. So you can contact your student support officer with any question or support need, big or small, and we can help signpost you to the right place. And there's no such thing as a silly question when it comes to us, so don't be afraid to reach out, even if it's just for a bit of reassurance. And we also provide one-to-one appointments for students to have a safe, confidential space if they need to talk to someone, a member of staff, to talk to about feelings of homesickness or struggles to connect with others and get settled in. And we can help students navigate all those activities, resources, clubs and societies, and residence life support, which is the support within our student halls, to make sure that they know what's available and also help break down any barriers that they might have to accessing resources or participating in activities that might help them. And student support officers are around at a lot of the Welcome Week activities. So you'll see us as well at the Welcome Fair, for example, and then at school or college inductions, you'll get to see your specific student support officer for your area.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Mara. Monica, I'm going to come to you next with the same question.
So the International Student Support Team, we do a lot to welcome new students and help them settle in. So a big project that we're working on at the moment is launching an international student buddying scheme. So all new students, all new international undergraduate students can apply for a buddy, and the buddies are returning students of different levels. So if you'd like a buddy, you'll be matched with a buddy, and they'll support you throughout first semester and also before you arrive, just a friendly face to help answer any questions you have or walk around campus with you, go out, get a coffee with you. So that's a great way that we help welcome new students. We also run over 2 weeks of welcome events for our international welcome. So we have a wide range of events such as a traditional Scottish ceilidh, picnics, learn to play pool sessions, walking tours, day trips around Scotland as well. And attending those events is a great way to make new friends when you arrive on campus. And we also have a welcome desk throughout all of Welcome Week, where we have welcome team student helpers who can answer any questions you have and help you get your campus card and get settled into campus.
Perfect. Thank you, Monica. And that buddy system sounds really, really good for international students who are arriving, hearing from students who have been through that before as well. Dafydd, last but not least, I'm going to come to you of how you help to support new students.
Thank you, Alice. At the Disability Service, we provide welcome talks across the university in all of the various subject areas and schools. So it's very likely if you're coming to University of Glasgow that some sort of talk with our service will have been arranged for you, where we will talk about how we support disabled students at the university, but also how we, as a service, support well-being generally. Beyond the welcome talks, we have regular drop-ins at the Disability Service. You'll be able to check our web pages to see when these are, when you arrive, but we do them at least twice a week, and it's likely we'll be increasing that in the future. And these are really informal opportunities for students to come and talk to a disability advisor about what support we might be able to provide, or even for students who are wondering if the disability service is a relevant service for them and if there's some support we can be provided. You can just come along to a drop-in and we'll be happy to speak with you. Our focus is on disabled students, and sometimes we're aware that students will have very particular needs coming to the university. And we definitely try and work with disabled students on a case-by-case basis, recognizing that we don't have any one-size-fits-all solutions. But if you are coming to the university, for example, with a visual impairment, or if you might be blind, or if you have mobility difficulties that mean you're going to have particular challenges in using university buildings, we would provide tailored support for you in terms of what we call orientation support. I would just say in general terms, if you're thinking of coming to Glasgow, or you are coming to Glasgow and you think you're going to have a need for orientation support, that you contact us as soon as you know you're coming so that we can begin to advise you and get arrangements in place for you. Finally, we meet with disabled students in one-to-one appointments, and you can find out how to register with our service, which would then generally lead to you seeing us in a one-to-one appointment by having a look at our web pages, and that'll tell you what you need to know.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dafydd. And it's really brilliant to see here like how approachable all of your teams are, because it is a exciting but a daunting time for new students. So it's really good to hear about the support available when you arrive. So I'm just going to move on to the next question that we have today. So I can see that we have people tuning in from all over the world for today's session. So Monica, as one of our international student advisors, can you tell us a bit more about the support you provide our international students during their time at Glasgow?
Sure. So I know I mentioned a lot of ways that we support students as they start their journey, but my team is there throughout the entire student journey. So we do run the welcome events, as I mentioned, and the buddying scheme to get you settled in, but we also have a winter hosting program. So if you aren't able to or decide not to go home over the winter holidays, you can be matched with a local host and do a festive activity together. We also offer different events and activities and day trips all throughout the year, not just during welcome. And a big part of what we do as well is we have an advice service. So all of the advisors are trained to provide immigration advice. So if you have any issues with your visa or any visa or immigration questions during your studies, you can book one-to-one appointments with our team, either online or in person. And that includes help with graduate visa. So any graduate visa questions or concerns that you have, we're there to help. This also includes well-being support or really just any issues you have during your studies. If you don't know who to go to, you can contact our team and we're there to help. And we have really strong relationships with all different teams across the university, so we can advocate on your behalf if you face any issues at all during your studies.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Monica, for that. So our next question, Angelica, you've already advised on how the SRC can help students to settle in, but the SRC also provide a wide range of support during students' time at university. Do you mind expanding a little bit more on that?
Yeah, of course. So we have many different ways of supporting students during their time at university at the SRC. Our main form of support can be found through the SRC Advice Centre. So the SRC Advice Centre is an advice, information and representation service provided by the SRC for all University of Glasgow students. And there are some examples of what the Advice Centre covers that I'll just talk through today. So the SRC Advice Centre can cover academic concerns. They can offer advice and information on a number of university or study issues, whether you want to appeal against an exam grade or complain about an aspect of your course. Accommodation-wise, the SRC Advice Centre can offer guidance on how to accommodate, to find accommodation and information in your rights and responsibilities as a tenant. And other examples of topics covered by the SRC Advice Centre include employment, health and well-being, money, transport, cost of living support, and we also have a fully trained gender-based violence counsellor. Also within the SRC, we have lots of different ways of supporting clubs and societies if you decide to join the running committee or even start a new society. These forms of support can be found in ways such as grant funding, access to our lending library, which includes items such as cameras and card machines, and much more. Additionally, we host de-stress events throughout the exam periods of the academic year to help students de-stress during the very hectic and stressful time that is exams. And finally, at the SRC, which stands for the Student Representative Council, we have a team of nearly 50 student representatives that are led by 4 executive officers. I'm one of them. And our place on campus is to always represent student needs. So if you ever feel that you want to see something change on campus or that there is something missing, please reach out to us so we can support and represent students to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angelica. And that is such a wide range of support that the SRC really provide for our students. So it's really brilliant to hear about that. For our next question, I'm going to come to you, Mara. We have student support officers in all subject areas of the university. So would you be able to tell us a bit more about the support future students can expect during their time at Glasgow?
Absolutely, yes. So student support officers, as you were saying, Alice, are embedded within subject areas around the university, meaning that students will have a dedicated student support officer that they'll be introduced to during inductions, usually induction lectures. We also feature in course handbooks and things like that. And we have our own website where you can find all the relevant contact details for the full team of student support officers. And we basically provide an extra layer of pastoral support, so really helping students manage any of those non-academic issues that might arise over the course of their studies. And that can be a really kind of broad range of things. So whether that be support to manage health and well-being, support to access specialist services, support, managing finances, if you're seeking study skills support and aren't quite sure where to go for that, or even liaising with academic staff, which can sometimes feel a bit daunting at first, but because we provide local support within schools and colleges, we know the relevant teaching and administrative teams, so we can help to try and resolve any issues at source and support with processes such as what we call like mitigating circumstances, where an assessment might have been impacted or missed due to an illness or another personal difficulty, or if a student, for example, needs to pause their studies in some way. So really we're a great source of general support if you're not sure where to go, and if you have a problem that we can't resolve ourselves, but we'll always make sure to get you to the right place or team.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mara. So with our next question, there may be some people who are tuning in today that are disabled or that may be living with a mental health condition and are really keen to know how they'll be supported at the university. Dafydd, this question is for you. Would you be able to talk us through some of the support that your team can provide for students?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Alice. So we provide study-related support for disabled students, including those with mental health difficulty. The support we provide varies enormously. It depends on how people are disabled, but also what they're studying and what the asks are them in their degree program. And I mention this because it's really important to emphasize that the support we provide for students is very much tailored to students' individual needs. So we don't tend to have sort of one-size-fits-all solutions. We really like to get to know students and understand what would be most effective for students in particular. In terms of supporting students' learning, some of the things that we find are most powerful are the one-to-one types of support that we can provide. So we have a large number of students at the university who tell us that they have mental health difficulty. This is often some form of anxiety or some form of low mood or depression, or it can be both of these things that sort of cycle and are difficult for students for a period of time and then go away and then come back again. So in order to support these students, the thing we find is really helpful is what we call mentoring. And mentoring is the opportunity to meet with a professional coach who has a really good understanding of what it's like to be at university with a mental health difficulty, and will help students really, when they're doing well, to get the best out of themselves and to stay on track with their studies. And when the mentor encounters students when they're not doing so well, when they're having a bit of a flare up in their anxiety or low mood, they will support students to contact sources of help, whether that be the GP or whether that be contacting people in their subject area or liaising, in fact, with a student support officer around academic coursework deadlines. So it's basically just having someone in your corner who's there to help you make the best of your skills and abilities, but also to really be there for you when things are not going so well for you. Similarly, we support an enormous number of students who are dyslexic, and again, we can provide one-to-one study support. That's the opportunity to meet regularly with someone who's going to ensure you have a really good understanding of what you need to be doing academically, help you with structuring arguments, making sure your written work is completed to the required standard. So students tell us these types of one-to-one support are very useful and very effective. The other ways that we support students is, of course, in exams, and we can sometimes provide things like some extra time in exams or use of a computer in exams. In some cases, we can organize for students not to be in the main exam hall if that's a source of anxiety. Again, it's very much dependent on students' individual circumstances. Another thing we do is we document disabled students' study support needs in what's called a study support plan. And with your agreement, we share that plan out to people in the university who have a role in supporting you so that they know what we're asking them to do to help you do well at the university. We also try and liaise on your behalf with subject areas. So when there are support needs and where these need to be well understood by the people teaching you, we try and take that work on so that you don't have to do that yourself. I guess the last thing I'll mention is just the work we do with students before they come to university. So if you find that you're an offer holder at the University of Glasgow and that you told us when you applied that you are disabled in some way, you should receive messages from us asking you to tell us more about the sorts of support you find helpful. So I guess I would just encourage you to respond to those messages so that we can get support in place for you as early as possible, and ideally from day one when you come to study at Glasgow. If you need any further information about the sorts of things I've mentioned, you can find information on our web pages.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dafydd. That was really nice to hear, and it's really important to, every student is an individual, so it's really nice to hear about that tailored approach that your team takes to all students arriving, which is really fantastic. So I'm just going to move on to our next question now. So a lot of people who are tuning in today may not have had the opportunity to actually visit the university before and will be really curious to know about what our campus is like here at Glasgow. So Angelica, you've studied at the University of Glasgow for 4 years, so I think you should have a really good idea about this. Can you give us a flavour of what the campus is like? Is it sociable and is it a friendly place?
Yes, absolutely. The campus is so sociable and everyone is very, very friendly. With there being 4 different student bodies on campus, there are always lots of different ways that students can get stuck in with campus life and give back to the student community by making as much fun as possible for all students. We have the SRC, GUSA, which is the Glasgow University Sports Association, QMU, the Queen Margaret's Union, and GUU, which is the Glasgow University Union. So there's always a lot going on to make sure that it's as fun as possible for everybody. We also have over 300 different clubs and societies here on campus that the SRC manage, which is a lot. From Dance Society to Taylor Swift Society, to the Nintendo Society, to the Shrek Society. There are so many different options for you to get a taste of our fun campus and make lots of new friends.
Fantastic, Angelica. And every day is a learning day for me. I did not realise we had a Shrek Society, so that's very good to know. So thank you so much, Angelica. So we're getting on to our last question. So as a final kind of more general question for the panel, can I ask, what is your favourite thing about the University of Glasgow? Monica, I'm going to come to you first for this one.
Sure. So I thought the question was about my favorite thing on campus, which I was going to say was the free museums, the very historic museums that we have on campus. There's 4 historic museums, and they make up the oldest museums in Scotland. So it's really wonderful to get to go visit those over my lunch break. But it's really hard to say what my favorite thing in general is about the University of Glasgow. But I would probably say it's well, the people, just it's a very friendly, welcoming environment, and very international. I may be a bit biased coming from the international student support team, but it's a very diverse and international campus with lots of international staff and international students, and I think that makes it an even greater place to study.
That's really fantastic, Monica. And yeah, I think I probably just forgot to mention the campus part in my question. So Dafydd, I'll come to you next. What is your favourite thing about the University of Glasgow campus?
I think a couple of related things, actually. I really like how compact the campus is, how it's compact, it's central, it's very embedded into the city. And I guess by compact, I mean that it operates on a very human scale. Like, I feel although the university is grand and impressive, it's not overwhelming, which is something I very much like about it. Related to that, I would say increasingly our beautiful historic buildings are being complemented by new modern learning spaces. And I love this direction of travel for us, because as much as I love our historical buildings, they do pose some challenges for some disabled people. And as we appear, we absolutely do have a commitment to building these new modern spaces. The more we do that, the more we make ourselves ready to welcome and be accessible to a very wide diversity of students at the university.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Dafydd. And yeah, it's definitely a really nice kind of compact campus to get around and surrounded by the city as well. So the best of both worlds for campus and city life as well. Mara, I'm going to come to you next with the same question.
Yeah, well, very much kind of echoing and just expanding a bit on what the others have already said. Like, for me, I think the location is just fantastic. So, the campus has so many beautiful old buildings and kind of impressive new buildings, and green spaces as well, which are great to explore. But the West End more broadly is just a really brilliant place to be. There's so much to explore, from museums and art galleries to like the vintage shops and cafes, bakeries and bars. It's such a student-friendly area, and it's really walkable. There's good public transport as well, and a lot of the activities and attractions are completely free. There's a fantastic range of food from all around the world, and I think the whole of the West End just has a really great buzz to it at all times of year. So it's a fantastic place to be a student. I was a undergraduate here some time ago now, but still love being in the West End for work and seeing our students thrive here.
Oh, that's amazing to hear, Mara. And surely not that long ago that you were a student, an undergraduate student with us. Angelica, I'm going to come to you. What is your favourite thing about the University of Glasgow campus?
Mine is quite similar to what everybody else has said. I just love how compact the campus is, because then you can always bump into your friends whenever you're walking from lecture to lecture, or whether you're going from a lecture to the QMU for a drink. You're always going to bump into people you know, and it's lovely just to see everybody out on campus having fun.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Angelica. And I think from everyone's answers, it's kind of like the kind of community feel that you have kind of on campus, but also in the wider kind of area of the West End of Glasgow, which is really fantastic for students who are going to be joining us shortly. So that is actually our session coming to a close now. But before we go, I just wanted to flag that there are also lots of other areas of support at the university. These are things such as our career service, our counselling service, financial aid, and so much more. If you want to find out about those, you can take a look at our student support web pages, which are just coming up on the screen now. So unfortunately, that is all that we have time for today. So I just want to thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope that you found today useful. And I really want to thank our panel as well for all of the brilliant answers they've given to the questions today. With that, we hope to be welcoming you to the team at UofG in the not too distant future. Thank you, everyone.